Iran warns oil prices could hit $200 a barrel. Iran's military command stated that the world should prepare for the possibility of oil prices rising to $200 a barrel, following fresh attacks on 3 commercial vessels in the Gulf. On March 11th, Iran launched strikes against Israel and targets across the Middle East, demonstrating its continued ability to retaliate and disrupt energy supplies, despite what the Pentagon described as the most intense airstrikes to date. Oil prices spiked earlier this week but have since cooled, while stock markets recovered as investors temporarily bet that U.S. President Donald Trump would soon find a way to end the war he initiated nearly 2 weeks ago. Prepare for oil prices to reach $200 a barrel because oil prices depend on regional security, which you are destabilizing, emphasized Ibrahim Zolfikari, spokesman for Iran's military command, in a message addressed to the U.S. on March 11th. According to maritime security monitors, 3 more commercial vessels have been attacked in the Gulf by unknown objects, bringing the total number of ships targeted since the war began to 14. Iran has declared it will not allow oil to pass through the Strait of Hormuz until U.S. and Israeli attacks cease, while also refusing negotiations. U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened to attack Iran 20 times harder if it blockades the strait, but the U.S. has not announced specific military plans to reopen the vital waterway. On March 11th, Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz stated that the operation will continue indefinitely until all objectives are achieved and victory is secured. However, the longer the war drags on, the greater the risk to the global economy, and if it ends with Iran's governance system still intact, Tehran will almost certainly declare victory. Spain withdraws ambassador from Israel indefinitely. Spain's king has signed a decree dismissing its ambassador to Israel, the latest move in a series of escalating bilateral tensions. According to the decree signed by King Felipe VI and published in Spain's official state bulletin on March 11th, Ana Maria Salomón has been relieved of her duties as ambassador to Israel, effective March 10th, following a proposal by Foreign Minister José Manuel Álvarez. Salomón had been recalled to Spain since September 2025, when diplomatic tensions between Spain and Israel intensified. There are no indications that Spain will appoint a new ambassador to Israel in the near future. Spain's foreign ministry stated that the embassy in Tel Aviv will be run by a chargé d'affaires. This is the latest development in the diplomatic strain between the two countries, which flared up after Israel began its retaliatory campaign against the armed group Hamas in the Gaza Strip in October 2023. Relations between the two sides have continuously deteriorated since then. Spain banned military equipment trade with Israel from the very beginning of the Gaza conflict. In September 2025, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez announced measures to enshrine this ban into law. Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar subsequently accused Sánchez of harboring anti-Semitic sentiments and ordered a ban on 2 Spanish ministers from entering Israel. Israel withdrew its ambassador to Spain in 2024, after the country formally recognized the State of Palestine. Since then, the Israeli embassy in Spain has been led by an interim chargé d'affaires. Tensions escalated further after the U.S. and Israel launched a military campaign against Iran on February 28th. Prime Minister Sánchez opposed this action, drawing criticism from Israel. U.S. spent over $11 billion in first 6 days of conflict with Iran. Officials in President Trump's administration estimate the U.S. has spent at least $11.3 billion in the first 6 days of conflict with Iran. Reuters reported on March 11th, citing informed sources, that officials from President Donald Trump's administration held a closed-door meeting with senators on March 10th and were repeatedly asked to provide more information about the ongoing conflict in Iran. The group of officials estimated that the first 6 days of the war with Iran, which began on February 28th, cost at least $11.3 billion. This figure still does not include many costs related to preparing for the attacks. Several congressional aides said they expect the White House to soon submit a request to Congress for additional war funding. Some officials suggested this request could reach $50 billion. The Trump administration has yet to provide a public assessment of the conflict's costs or a clear indication of the war's expected duration. On March 11th, Trump stated the U.S. has won the war, but will continue to participate to finish the job. Previously, U.S. defense officials also informed Congress that approximately $5.6 billion worth of munitions were used in just the first 2 days of fighting in the Middle East. The Middle East has been engulfed in conflict since the U.S. and Israel launched an airstrike campaign against Iran on February 28th. Iran subsequently retaliated by launching missiles and UAVs at Israel and U.S. bases in Arab countries in the region. The fighting has killed approximately 2,000 people, primarily in Iran, and affected many regional countries. Stranded passengers in the Middle East struggle with soaring costs. Many travelers are being forced to spend thousands of dollars on hotels and living expenses after flights across the Middle East were canceled due to the conflict. Air travel in the Middle East has been in chaos since February 28th. Numerous stranded passengers are grappling with mounting hotel bills while waiting for flights home, with many still uncertain whether these costs will be covered or if they must bear them personally. Emirates canceled flights to London and provided meal vouchers along with accommodation at S Hotel Al Barsha, a 4-star hotel about 20 minutes from Dubai International Airport. This support package covered 4 nights until March 3rd. When it expired, a father and son moved to the Hampton by Hilton Dubai Al Barsha and began paying for their room out of pocket. A twin room costs $112 per night, including breakfast. They are also trying to keep their daily food expenses to around $30.
FBI warns, Iran may attack California with drones from offshore. The FBI has indicated that Iran could potentially launch a surprise drone attack on California from a vessel off the U.S. coast. According to ABC News, the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, has warned police departments in California that Iran may have considered conducting unexpected drone attacks on the U.S. West Coast from an unidentified vessel offshore. We recently acquired information that as of early February 2026, Iran allegedly aspired to conduct a surprise attack using unmanned aerial vehicles from an unidentified vessel off the coast of the United States homeland, specifically against unspecified targets in California, in the event that the U.S. conducted strikes against Iran, ABC News reported, citing the FBI warning. The source confirmed that the agency has no further information regarding the timing, method, specific targets, or individuals connected to the alleged attack plan. The warning was issued by the FBI in late February, just before the Trump administration launched strikes against Iran. Subsequently, Tehran has retaliated with multiple drone attacks on targets across the Middle East. ABC News quoted a senior official as saying that intelligence regarding Iran's potential plans emerged before the U.S. and Israel carried out their strikes. However, the official assessed that the recent 12-day conflict is believed to have significantly degraded Iran's capability to execute such an offensive operation. The White House has not commented on the above information. Since the beginning of the conflict, Iran has used drones to attack numerous U.S. and Israeli targets in the region, including ships, embassies, airports, military bases, and other infrastructure. Ukraine is reported to have sent drone experts to the Middle East to assist several countries in the region in countering this threat.
We hope today's bulletin has provided you with a comprehensive and engaging view of our dynamic world. Thank you for your attention. See you in the next update, only on The Angle.